discussing child development, technology, and social media. And to give you a little context on this topic, anonymity is a big part of the internet and social media today. And in fact, over 14,000 children per year are exposed to sexual messages online. And chances are, if they weren't under anonymous circumstances, or if they were in a face-to-face conversation, they wouldn't have been sent to begin with. And Edward Kessler discusses this in his article, Social Media and the Movement of Ideas. And Edward Kessler is the founder of the Wolf Institute. And the Wolf Institute has a goal of repairing relationships between society and their religions. But he discusses this and calls it a term, disinhibition, which again just means not being able to, or being able to say things online anonymously, or not being able to say these things in a face-to-face conversation because they're not anonymous. And in today's society, a lot of times this can lead to bullying. And bullying can lead to a plethora of things such as mental illness, difficulty sleeping, headaches, and even suicide in some cases. And this infographic here just shows that bullying can lead to mental health, and people can be bullied due to their mental health illnesses, or bullying can cause mental health illnesses. And mental health illnesses not only can bullying cause mental health illnesses, but it can go both ways. And a common mental health illness is depression, and depression can lead to a lack of physical activity, which can actually lead to obesity. And this just shows here that depression can lead to obesity, or obesity can lead to depression. And this infographic here just emphasizes that and shows that 1 in 3 children in America are actually overweight, and it emphasizes it here because it shows that a consequence of overweightness or being obese is low self-esteem or depression. And not only does it cause low self-esteem or depression, but obesity can cause early onset of diabetes, knee problems, back pain, high blood pressure, and many others. And this leads to my research question, which is how do technology and social media affect a child's development? Which leads to my claim, which is since technology has developed over the past decade, social media and technology have negatively impacted children and their development through behavior, physical, and mental health. This leads me to the question, how do video games affect a child's behavior? And Carolyn Fitzpatrick, who is an associate professor of communications and English at Alberta University, provides recent studies that show that aggressive media or violent media lead to aggressive behaviors in children. And Jane McGonigal provides an alternative view on this topic, and she is a co-founder of the video game Super Better, which has helped people recover from depression, anxiety, chronic pain, and even traumatic brain injury. And she believes that video games like Super Better help people communicate and cooperate with people their age, and this is a skill that people will need later on in the workforce. So she believes that video games actually benefit children. And this will lead me to the question, in addition to video games, how does social media affect the behavior of children? And Turner Giles, who is a European editor, provides a Safer Internet survey, and he says that in the age group of 8 to 17, 22 children have said that there's been something posted online to bully them. And although 22% doesn't seem like a very big percentage, it equals 9,716,332 children just in the world. And that's just the number of children who admitted it. And Edward Kessler, as previously mentioned, discusses this again, and he talks about anonymity and disinhibition, like I previously mentioned. And a lot of times these children wouldn't have been cyberbullied if it wasn't anonymous. And social media in relation to mental health, England's Children's Commissioner talks about addiction within Snapchat. And as many of you know, Snapchat has created an addition called a snap streak, and it's where you have to Snapchat someone every day in order to keep your streak. And this has caused children, or a lot of children, to become more addicted to their cell phones or to social media or to Snapchat in general. And another thing with Snapchat is that once you Snapchat someone and you open it, you have one chance to replay it, and after that, it's gone forever. And even if you were to take a screenshot of it, the person would be notified. And therefore, if someone is being bullied on Snapchat, chances are they won't report it because they won't have proof. He also provides a study that shows that 10% of girls in the UK who spend 3 or more hours on social media score lower on a mental health test. And Denise Ante Contreras has a degree in social work, and she talks about distracted parenting. And she discusses how when parents are on their cell phones, they are not paying as much attention to their newborn babies. And newborn babies are in frequent need of eye contact and attention. And if they don't receive this, they have trouble making a relationship with their parent. And this will cause them, as they grow older, to not be able to make as many relationships with the people around them. This leads to the question, does technology actually have an effect on physical health? And like I previously mentioned, mental health issues can be caused by technology, which can lead to a lack of physical activity, which can lead to weight gain and obesity and serious health issues, such as high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, diabetes, stroke, gallbladder issues, and difficulty engaging in physical activity. And not only can it cause obesity or weight gain, it can also cause myopia or nearsightedness, which many people in our society have today, and it's just not being able to see far away. It also affects our peripheral view, and this is very important to society, which is probably why many of us wear glasses today, because having something so close to your face all the time causes you not be able to see things far away. And this leads to my recommendations or my solutions. And one of my solutions is the popular social media sites could limit people from being able to say negative things on social media, and it would be able to detect a negative comment and not allow it to be posted. But a limitation to this is that it would run into issues with the freedom of speech that is mentioned in the Bill of Rights, of course. And it would probably lose that battle against the Bill of Rights because you can't tell people that they can and can't say things on social media. And if these sites got away with it and did start doing this, people would just find other forums to be able to do these things, and they would just use another site. Another limitation that isn't as strong, another solution that isn't as strong as the first one, is to limit or expel social media and technology altogether. And this would not be a great solution due to a lack of public interest. A lot of people aren't interested in reducing their social media or technology use, therefore this solution would fail, but it would be good for society because their eyesight would improve and there would be less bullying, and the society would just be better altogether. And this is my works cited.
Okay, a couple of questions for you. How valid and reliable are the sources you've used? How do you know, and which sources didn't work?
I think that a lot of my sources are actually pretty credible, and I know this because of the journals or databases that they came from, and I could find a lot of information about the authors and why they were credible to say the things that they were saying. But a couple of my sources, like a source that I had originally from a woman named Carrie Doble, the source itself seemed credible, but I couldn't find much on her, so I couldn't prove whether she was reliable enough to be saying the things that she was saying, so I didn't use that source. Although it probably would have benefited my research and my evidence altogether, there was no way for me to prove how credible she was because I couldn't find much on her, so I didn't use that one.
Okay, and then your second one is, if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
Well, I discussed distracted parenting and how it has an effect on babies, and if I had more time, I would have went more in detail about that and how it affects these babies, because obviously they grow up into adults at one point in society, and if they have trouble forming relationships or they're negatively impacted by social media and technology, it's going to affect the generations after them. So if I had more time, I would have went into that more in detail.